Hello students, in this video we are going to discuss about the remote login and FTP. So first of all we are going to discuss about the SSH. Basically SSH stands for Secure Shell. It is a security protocol. It provides you encrypted session for transferring files and executing servers. So you can understand about the encryption with the help of this diagram. This is the client and this is the server. So client is sending the information through a tunnel of SSH to the server. So what is the working of the SSH? SSH encrypting your data into a complicated code. Why it is converting your data into complicated code? Because the third person cannot understand. That's why it's creating your data into encryption form. So this is the feature of SSH. So it is secure. It creates a secure tunnel between client and server. So SSH basically widely used on all platforms like Unix, Linux and Windows. The next point is SCP and SFTP. SCP stands for Secure Copy Protocols and SFTP stands for Secure File Transfer Protocol. So both are file transfer protocols, that's why we are discussing simultaneously. So SCP is a version of Unix remote copy command which is widely supported on Unix system. So and secure file transfer is a secure version of file transfer protocol which facilitate data access and data transfer over a secure shell data stream. So it is a part of the SSH protocol. This term is also known as SSH transfer protocols. Now the topic is file transfer protocol, which is called FTP. So basically it is a process of transmitting the file over the internet, and it controls the transfer of files between two computers. So unlike some protocols, it does not allow any kind of communication between the computer. So you can see here is a client and a server, but it is connecting. These two devices are connected with the help of internet. So basically it is used for sharing and receiving data like some softwares and files. So FTP is used to move software and large text files across the internet. So large files, how large files are shared with the help of internet or with the help of FTP. Basically these large files compressed using some utility software and transferred to the server. So here are two terms: uploading and downloading. Uploading is a process for transferring the file from client to server, and downloading is a process for transferring the file from server to client. So this is the working of the FTP. Okay, now the next topic is FTPS. FTPS stands for FTP Secure. Basically it is a secure version of the FTP. So it is a SSL protocol applied to FTP. FTPS uses two connection also, but encryption is possible. So FTPS verifies the connection using a user ID and a password or certificate or both. So the encryption allows FTPS to be more secure and a better option than FTP. As we have discussed in our previous topic, FTP. So FTP is not secure, but FTPS is more secure comparison to FTP. So this was the explanation of the remote login and FTP. So I hope you all are understand what are the rules about the telnet. Basically, Telnet stands for Telecommunication Network. So, Telnet is a network protocol that allows a user on one computer to log into another computer. That is the part of the same network. So, this is the definition of the Telnet. So, basically what is the working of the Telnet? Telnet is a user command and an underlying TCP/IP protocol for accessing remote computers. Through Telnet, an administrator or another user can access someone else's computer remotely. On the web, HTTP and FTP protocols allow you to request specific files from remote computers, but not to actually be logged on as a user of that computer. So with Telnet, you log on as a regular user with whatever privilege you may have. You may have been granted to the specific application and data on that computer. Basically, Telnet is not a secure protocols network. So this is used your ID and password in text form. It will not encrypt your ID and password in the coded form. So it is not secure for connecting for one computer to another computer. So this is the features of the Telnet. So now the next point is remote access. Remote access is the ability to log into a computer or network within an organization from an external location. What does it mean? Remote access is the act of connecting to IT services. Like you want to access a computer from India and another computer is in USA. So this protocol works on an internet. So if you are sitting in India and you want to access the computer that is placed in USA, so you have to use a remote access protocol software. So these type of software and these type of protocols are used for accessing or remote computer data. So this is the remote access protocols. So hope you are understand about the Telnet and remote access mobile technologies. So mobile technologies were introduced first in Japan 1979. So the mobile technologies first generation is 1G technology. So it has only voice feature and it is the first generation wireless cellular technology. Basically 1G is the analog technology. So it has some disadvantages, like the phone using in the 1G technology had poor battery life and voice quality. So 1G technology was invented in 1980. So
next one is second generation. Second generation means actually this technology was launched in 1991 in Finland. So this technology works on the GSM network. GSM stands for Global System for Mobile. So call and it has the features of call and text encryption. In our previous technology, we can only send voice calls. We can do only voice calls, but in this technology, we can do SMS, means simple message services, and MMS, multimedia services. So now actually in this technology we can also use GPRS. GPRS stands for General Packet Radio Services. Basically it is used to access the internet. So in this technology there were speed on it has speed 50 kbps. Now come to the next technology, third generation technology or 3G. So it has more data, video calling and internet. So actually this technology introduced in 1998. It has faster data transmission speed, video calling, internet access. Actually the speed of the internet, accessing the internet 2 Mbps non-moving devices and 384 kbps moving devices. So this was the features of the 3G technologies, and it also introduced the video calling technology. Nowadays all you know that 4G technology is going on. This is the current standard. So 4G technology were introduced and released in 2008. So basically the speed of the accessing the internet moving device it has 100 Mbps, and non-moving device up to 1 Gbps. So it supports video conferencing, and you can also see online web series, online videos, YouTube. Okay, so now the next technology is 5th generation technology. Basically it is the future, and it is not implemented wireless technology that intended to improve on 4G. So it promises significantly faster data speed, high connection density, lower latency. Lower latency stands for this means that some type of delay in transmitting or processing data. So it will be lower. It will be energy saving. So this was the explanation of all technologies in the mobile technologies.